In this video, we're going to learn how to manipulate equations and formulas for different variables. This is not a really difficult skill, but it's a skill that you've used in multiple classes other than math. You'll see some social studies equations, you'll see some science equations and those kinds of things to solve for. So let's just take an example. Here's one from science. Kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 mv squared. And let's say they want you to solve for m. So you have to rearrange the equation. So instead of using kinetic energy as KE, I'm just going to use it as an E, is 1/2 mv squared. You want to have this all alone. So leave it right there. So to do that, I'm going to divide by b squared on the bottom. So because if I divide by b squared, it's gone on that side. And if I have to move the 1/2 to the other side, I divide by 1/2. When I divide by 1/2 on the other side, I have to flip it over. So 1/2 becomes 2/1. So my answer is 2 times the energy divided by b squared is equal to m. It's just manipulating the variables and moving them around. So whatever I want alone, I left it right there. Divide, since these are all multiplied together, I knew I had to divide. So I divide by b squared, so it's now on the bottom. Divide by 1/2, so it disappears on this side. When you divide by a fraction, you flip it over and multiply, so it becomes 2/1, and there's my answer. Let's say we have that same equation. Let's do it again, rewrite that equation real quick. This time we're going to solve for b squared. All right, so your energy equals 1/2 mv squared, so we want b squared to stay right there. So these are all multiplied, so I have to do the opposite, so I'm going to have to divide by m, and I have to divide by 1/2. So when I divide by 1/2, I flip it over and multiply, so I get 2e, 2 times the energy, over m equals b squared. But what if the question had not been b squared? What if they wanted just b? Well, I do all the same math. If I wanted b, the reverse of squared is square root. So b equals all that. The square root of 2 times the energy divided by the mass. Here's another completely different equation. It's just manipulating equations around and see what you can get. Here's another one from science. E equals h nu. And let's say we want to solve for h. Leave it right there. Divide by the other guy. Almost looks like a cursive looking R. There's my answer. He's all alone. Some are very simple, and some can be more complex. Let's try another equation. From geometry, area 1/2 base times the height. And we want to solve for the height. Alright, so leave it right there. What am I going to do? Divide by base. That's gone. Divide by 1/2. We already learned that. That means multiply by 2 on the other side. There it is. It's all gone on the other side. All that stuff disappears. The height is equal to 2 times the area divided by the base. So it's just manipulating variables. Here's one that we saw in an earlier video. Y equals mx plus b. Let's say we want the slope. What's the slope? Okay. Well, if I want that, I can leave it right there. That says plus b. To move it, it's minus b. So y minus b equals mx. And I just want m. Let's multiply, so I divide. There's my answer. It's manipulating around an equation to try to get it in the right format in order to get what you want. Here's one more. And this one's a tricky one. b1 over t1 equals b2 over t2. This is a science equation. Now let's say we want to know t2. Nobody likes fractions, so if you can find a way to get out of fraction form, it makes your life easier. Well, anytime you have fraction equals fraction, you can always cross multiply to get out. So b1 t2, that's those two, equals b2 t1. Now I'm out of a fraction form. If I want t2, leave it right where it is. How do I move that? Divide. So that's a 1, not a 2, I'm sorry. There's my answer. In the next video, you're going to try a couple of them. Let's see how you do.